Welcome back, students. Today we're talking about the different types of research designs that sociologists use to gather information. I've ordered these in terms of popularity in sociology. So the first one we're going to talk about is the most popular survey. Survey's really popular because you can get a lot of information about a lot of people in a short amount of time, right? Once you have a lot of information about a lot of people, you can often generalize. So, for example, if I do a random sample of all the people in Colorado, I do a survey, then I can generalize and I can say people in Colorado do X, Y, or Z. So, it's a really useful tool in sociology to get a lot of information about a lot of people so that you can kind of generalize to the larger population. Okay, but survey does have some problems. The first one is how you get people to actually participate in your study. Traditionally, surveys were done either by mail or by telephone. Let's talk about telephone first. So, how many people these days have a landline telephone? Not very many, right? And we don't have access to everybody's cell phone number. And so, really, telephone interview has largely gone by the wayside. There have been some workarounds where we'll get people to sign up online, but then our generalizability kind of goes by the wayside. So there's some major complications because people don't have landlines anymore. Actually, when I took an intro to sociology class way back in the day, they had us learn how to randomize a telephone book. And that was a skill a sociologist needed to do all of these telephone interviews. But now that skill is useless because people don't have landline, and who even knows what a Yellow Pages is anymore, right? Okay, so the other way that we could do it is by mail. This is a pretty good option, right? We could take a geographic area, we can randomize it, send them out. We do have some problems. For example, we will largely leave out the homeless when we do a mail survey, right? People who don't have a permanent residence. We also could have some socioeconomic biases in our study if we wind up only mailing them out to certain areas that have, houses that are worth more and fancy, or maybe we send them out to people who don't have as nice houses. We can wind up with some subjectivity in there. Another problem with mail surveys, also related to this issue of participation, is getting people to mail them back, right? A lot of times in sociology, we'll mail out a survey, we'll wait for people to send it back, they won't. So then we have to mail it again. Usually 3 or 4 times we have to mail the survey back before we get enough return to us to make a decent sample. Now that comes with this other issue that we need to talk about is cost, right? Imagine if we're doing a study on all of Colorado and we have to mail out 4, maybe even 5 times. We have to mail out the survey, so the paper, the envelope, the stamps, plus you have to include return postage each time, right? Because you want people to mail it back and you don't want them to have to pay for it, or else they really won't do it. Another issue is I don't know about you guys, but I've gotten really finicky. So I'm not doing any survey for any less than a $5 Starbucks gift card, right? Like, we've gotten to where you have to put a little carrot in there to get people to participate in a mail-in survey. So all of this has led to significant costs associated with the mail survey. What that means is that people who are maybe just starting out, people at smaller universities, this is a significant barrier to doing their studies, that cost, right? You really have to be at a bigger institution with a lot more resources to be able to pull something like this off. Okay, the last one on here, I'm sure you're thinking like, yeah, but what about online, Holly? Online is a good strategy to do a survey right now. The issue with the online is it comes with, usually in sciences, we say we're not going to harm people through our science. But because we can't ensure security, sometimes there are some barriers to online surveys. So let's say, for example, I wanted to do a study on whether or not you had been abused as a child. And I want to do that online. How many people are freely going to just punch in their answers about child abuse into an online platform? And how am I going to for sure promise that that information will never be open, that it be 100% secure? That's really hard to do. And if I can't do that, if I can't promise you'll never be harmed, I'll never be hacked, that information will never get out, if I can't promise that, then I can't do the study, right? So there's some pretty significant, even though we want to do online surveys, we have to be really careful because we have to make sure that we can protect that information. And that's a pretty high standard. Okay, so this is our most popular type of research design, and it has such significant barriers. Next time, we're going to talk about ethnography, which is also pretty popular in sociology, but also has some pretty significant barriers. Okay, see you next time.